been following along with the chat. Um, yeah, uh, yeah, it's good seeing other people coming into the stream. You know, uh, I hope the channel gets to the point where we are more well known, if that makes sense. I think uh, there's a need for channels like this in the YouTube environment. That there really is. You guys just don't know how frustrated I get when I watch uh, some of the other channels. I don't need to call anybody out. You guys knew what channels do what. Uh, you know, we try to do honest reviews here. Everyone works hard for their money. I still need to figure out a way of doing it and attempting to make a little money, if that makes sense. Because Linnell and I, we've spent quite a bit of money. Um, a lot of the equipment that we've bought over the last 2 years is not equipment that I would have bought as a guitar player. Um, Doing YouTube requires certain equipment, and we don't have the best of that equipment. Um, in 2026, our goal is to get first the mixing board and a computer. After we get that resolved, I want to get better cameras for streaming. The GoPros I've figured out. If you look at the last couple of videos, I think I got the GoPros figured out. I do want to get another GoPro 10. My GoPro 8, that's the one I use for overhead shots. You can definitely tell the white balance on that camera isn't quite as good. And when I zoom in on things, it gets a little grainy. So it's not near as good. But the microphones on the GoPro 10s, they are phenomenally good microphones in those cameras. The picture quality, it's good. It's good enough for YouTube because it's compressing it. It's 4K, 1080p, 30 frames a second. That's good for YouTube. And it would be nice to have maybe two better cameras that would do maybe 6 or 8K, not for the purpose of the streaming quality, but for when I zoom in and then enlarge it, it would still be at a 4K resolution. Because right now I'm doing 4K, and when I zoom in, it does get a little grainy on some of the zoom in shots. So I think the next two cameras we buy for video will be 6K and something that can zoom in, that'll still focus properly on the zoom in. What that's going to be, I don't know. But before I do that, I definitely want to get two cameras for live streaming. And GoPros just don't work well for live streaming. And the system that I have here, the Mevos, they're, they're for somebody using the phone as an app, direct streaming off the app. We did try it one night with three of them through my phone, and the lag was just horrible. So in 2026, that's what I want to do. Want to upgrade the board, upgrade the computer, and get the DAW and being able to record the lives as they go out. I am able to do that right now. I just haven't gotten in a habit, just like the last stream. I really should have recorded it. I have the capability of doing it through OBS, and it takes it to a different hard drive. I just forgot to hit the record button. I need to start getting into that. But a board, new computer, then after that, new streaming cameras. And we're going to leave it at that point. Once I do that, guys, I don't think I'm going to make too many changes until this channel gets a lot bigger, if that makes sense. I just don't see it. And it's nothing against you guys or anybody else. Thank you so much, Annoying Credit. That's the only thing that supports the channel. Because when we do live shows, the bulk of the views are in the first 2 days. So I usually don't go back and hit monetizing the video for 2 or 3 days. At that point, it gets no clicks anyway.
You need to read what he said for the super chat.
Could you recommend a 22 fret humbucker with a fast neck? I assume you're talking about a guitar. I'm trying to think what the Berettas are, if that's a 24 or a 22 fret. If you're looking at a budget, I know the Beretta Specials are pretty good guitars. If you can find an older one, the first 3 years, I think it was like 3 years ago, they were made somewhere, and everyone said they were phenomenal guitars. And then they changed manufacturing, and some people said that the newer ones aren't as good as the ones from 4 years ago. So you might want to look at a Kramer Beretta Special. If you have the extra money, a Kramer Beretta is a good guitar, 22 fret. Most of the guitars we have here are 24 fret. Squier, you really can't go wrong with the Vintage Vibe. I think the Vintage Vibe is a lot of bang for your buck. This Gretsch that we just reviewed is 22 fret. I'll be honest with you, if you're into this style of body shape, this is a great guitar at 22 fret. And I'm pointing this one out because the Vintage Vibe is going to be about $120 more than this Gretsch. And the tuning keys and everything on this guitar are spot on. So right now, I'm going to probably say this is about the best guitar you can get for the money. I can't think of anything at $319 that comes close to this. Most of them, the tuning keys aren't this good. The tuning keys on this guitar is stupid good. And the pickups, they sound good, whether it's clean, crunch, or heavily distorted. Now in clean, the bridge it's pretty high output. So you want to roll that tone back a little bit to clean it up a little bit. But when you do that, it also loses that bright edge that it has. So it makes the bridge pickup really usable on clean. So I'm going to say this guitar right here, a Gretsch. And they've got a different color too. They've got a green one, I think a slate gray one. The green one's real pretty. But there's just something about the purple. The purple is just freaking awesome. I would say 22 fret at 319 by Gretsch. You know, we review one guitar. If you've got a fret rocker and a couple basic tools, you know, the pickups are going to be about the same on all of them. But go into your store, take your fret rocker, pick the guitar up, and go through it. They're not going to say anything to you. You know, if they have 2 or 3 of them, maybe at different colors, pick them all up, play them, see if you bond with it, check the guitar, look over the fit and finish, make sure there's no scratches or dings. It's in a music store. It's been picked up by a bunch of different people. It could have been dropped, it could have fell over, or someone didn't care when they were grabbing the guitar next to it and bink, hit the face of it, getting the guitar off the wall. Just really look at the guitar. If you see it's got a ding or a scratch or something, go up to them and say, look, you know, I know you guys consider this new, but someone has obviously taken a guitar off the wall and they put a dent in it. Give me 10% off. You know, but take your fret rocker in, check the frets, really go through the guitar, look at it. Not every guitar is exactly the same. This one's a good one. I played the gray one at Shenandoah with the single pickup. That guitar was awesome. It's a little less money with the single bridge pickup, but I don't think I would buy that guitar, especially if I was playing in a variety band. Having that neck pickup adds so many different tones and so many different sounds. Now, if you're in a band and you're the lead guitar player, I get it. Buy the one with single pickup roll the volume back during your rhythm parts. It's going to take the edge off of it. Turn your volume up, hit your boost pedal, blow through your leads, turn off your boost pedal, roll the volume back, or your tone, whatever you're going to do, it'd probably be okay for you. But for the little bit of extra money to get the neck pickup for $319, I would go with something like that. You know, look at if you're really diehard about a 22 fret and you want to spend a little bit more money, maybe a Squier. You know, there's so many different guitars out there. Just go, look at the guitar. Do what we do during the reviews. Look at the body, feel the edge of the guitar, see if it has any like flutters. You know, make sure the top is nice and smooth. Check the back of the neck. Make sure there's nothing funny going on in the back of the neck. Check the tuners. You know, and if it's got a locking bridge, and if you're on a budget spending less than $300, most likely it's not going to have a locking nut. But if it does have a locking nut, don't sit there and turn the tuning keys because you're going to break one of the strings. But go up to them and say, hey, do you have the nut? I want to unlock this. I want to feel the tuners. I want to make sure that this is a quality instrument, something that I feel comfortable buying. If it's a reputable store, they're going to get what you're doing. You know, let them unlock it, play with it. Okay, the tuners are acceptable. Bring the guitar back up to tune, lock the locker, and then continue with your inspection. But the big thing is you have to bond with it. Just because I bond with this Gretsch, Annoying Critic, you might pick it up and go, this just isn't me. You know, the neck shape, the carve of the back of the neck, and the weight you might not bond with it. You know, everyone's different. And everyone has to be different. I mean, imagine how boring it would be if everyone liked the same thing. I mean, we've got crackle finish guitars. Well, let me turn on my other camera. We got crackle finish guitars. We got black guitar. We got slap you in the face color guitars. You know, there's so much stuff. And I'm not going to lie. Right now, the used market, man, I'm telling you, you can find some good deals. You really can. You can find some good deals. If you want to spend a little extra, look at the used. I'm not a big Guitar Center fan. Guitar Center has a 45-day, no questions asked, money back, warranty. Get on Guitar Center and go through the used. Find yourself a nice 22 fret guitar used. You don't have to necessarily be brand loyal. You might find a really nice Fender Strat. You might find a nicer Gretsch. They have a model above this one. It's a little bit nicer bridge on it, a little bit nicer pickups on it, some cooler colors. I think it's like $4.99. You might be able to get a used one for the same price as this one new. If you get it and you don't bond with it and you don't like it, it's no biggie. Take it into Guitar Center and say, look, I ordered this online. It's just not my thing. It's 45 days. Pretty sure it's 45 days. It's there for a reason. It's there to make sure that you like the product. There's so many different guitars out there. Just know what you kind of like and go that way. A lot of people like humbucker single, especially if you're in variety bands. The humbucker single humbucker works well. Dual humbucker works well. You get so many different sounds out of those guitars. The big thing is you got to bond with it. That's the most important thing. As far as the sound, your amplifier has an EQ. Believe me, you can EQ, as long as it's got decent pickups, like this Gretsch has, and this Ibanez right here has, you can EQ it. If you want a little bit more bass, you just roll your mids and your highs back. You want a little bit more mid, you cut your lows and your highs. If you want more of an 80s sound, what are you going to do? You're going to cut your mid. Trick to the 80s sound. Everyone boosts the mid. That's the last thing you want to do if you're after that 80s sound. Trust me. I see so many people on YouTube cranking the mid, and you get so much grit and smack sound. Turn up your preamp, boost it, boost your low, boost your high, cut your mid, put some chorus, put a little delay, and some reverb. You got the 80s sound. You got to have the chorus, and you got to cut the mid a little bit. It's all in your EQ. Believe me. Now, if you got trashy pickups, it doesn't really matter what you do. But take it in. Don't just plug into one amplifier. Plug it into this amplifier, play around with it for a little while, unplug it, go over and plug it into a modeling amp. But make sure you plug it into a tube amp. Listen to it in a clean, listen to it crunch, listen to it in high gain. Pull it out, plug it into another amp. Different amps will sound different. You're more out looking for different speakers. Speakers change the tone of the amp more so than what you think. So by plugging it into a Fender amp, maybe a Line 6 amp, maybe a Katana, maybe a Catalyst, spend some time. You know, if that store is going to be so bad that you can't really make an educated decision in there, it's not a good store. That store should know, why is he changing amps? Say, well, I want to see what it sounds like in this amp. You know, it's a little bit different amp, different speaker. Maybe you went from tube to a modeling amp. A lot of guitarists now are voicing their pickups more from modeling amps. They are. I can tell. I've got tube amps and also have modeling amps. I can tell how they're voicing pickups. A lot of these newer pickups are voiced more towards modelers than actual tube amplifiers. So they respond and they act different. Just take your time. That's the thing. You know, do I think this is a great guitar for $318? Yes, I do. I would recommend go find a Gretsch dealer, you know, and play that guitar. And if you live really close to Virginia, reach out to Shenandoah Music and see what you can get this one for. You know, this one's going to go back probably Saturday back to the store. And I wanted to ask people, we do have a guitar for January's giveaway. We have a Washburn. And next Thursday, we are going to pull the Washburn out and we're going to review the Washburn. Stefan sent the guitar to us to give away. It was his guitar. Again, the channel members here are freaking fantastic. He didn't use a guitar anymore. It's a nice guitar. He goes, hey, I'm going to donate this guitar to the channel for a giveaway. I can't. I mean, what can you even say about that? I'm speechless. So the guitar needs strings. It needs a setup. It needs a little love. But he donated the guitar. So instead of spending $200 or $300 on a guitar, we're going to spend a little bit of money on the Washburn, do some, you know, tricks to it, get it to play awesome, and we're going to give it away. The end of January. Someone's going to get a great Washburn guitar. Washburn made great guitars. So after that, of course, we skip a month, we're going to give away another guitar. I was thinking about maybe purchasing this one, but we're looking at January, so it would be March. It might be a little premature to buy the guitar now for a March giveaway. That was my only thought. Maybe it's a little too early. I'm sure I could go to Shenandoah Music, and of course they're going to work with us because they've sold us guitars at below MAP price for the giveaways before. Last two times, I'm sure they'll do it again. They're great guys there. They just want a little promotion and a little love from the audience. That's all they're asking for. And for me to be 100% truthful and not destroy their instrument during their review. And I've tried to do that. So far, I think this is the fourth guitar that they've given us for review. I think it's number 4. They were going to let us bring home a Gretsch Falcon, which is a far more expensive guitar than this one. That guitar was like $1,700. I just didn't think that it would fit the audience, if that makes sense. You know, I'm more of a hair band kind of guitar player, mid 80s to mid 90s. That's kind of what I play. I don't play too much mid 90s stuff on the stream, but I used to play a lot of STP, a lot of Alice in Chains, a lot of stuff like that. I don't really play that stuff too much, but I know a lot of that type genre of music because that's what I played out live and a lot of the 80s stuff. So I was looking at the Falcon, I'm like, man, this freaking thing's cool. All the gold hardware, Gigsby tremolo. I knew it was an awesome guitar. I'm sitting there going, can I do a good review on this? Yeah, I can give it a good review, but can I play the guitar in the style of music that this guitar was really designed to play? Not really my cup of tea. So I'm not really going to do it justice, if that makes sense. So I just said, how about a different Gretsch? And I was like, how about, what do they have, you know, that's inexpensive? You know, Christmas is coming up, and it would be nice to do a lower priced instrument. And that's when he showed me this one. And of course, it sold. Then we couldn't get the guitar. And then last week I went in, back in stock, so I grab it. Of course, now it's too late for a Christmas type review for sales, but I still wanted to review it. I think it's a heck of a guitar for $319. You're going to spend that on a Firefly. You are. Even if you get the $250 one, you're going to spend $30 in shipping. It's going to be $280. Believe me, it's worth the extra money. Just get the Gretsch. Nothing against Firefly. If you don't have $319, I get it. It's going to be maybe $300 for the Firefly if you get one of the cheaper Les Pauls. But some of them now are up to $285, you know, plus the shipping. These companies are listening. Whether it's Ibanez in their Geo line, you know, when I went to Shenandoah, they had 3 of them for $225. Geos. Nice guitars for $225. And it's a name brand guitar. It's Ibanez. So they do hear. And you all need to understand, if these budget companies can do it, the name brand companies can do it too. And odds are, I'm just saying odds are it's most likely going to be a more consistent product because their main vendor is going to make both. Their very cheap instrument and their mid-grade instrument, whether it's Sazmak or Cort. Those are going to be your 2 big ones. So they're not going to do anything that's going to harm Ibanez's contract with them to produce the other guitars. That's how I see it. So just keep that in mind. I like budget guitars. We almost ordered another Leo James. I do want to give the guitar company one more chance. If this channel orders another Leo James, this will be the last one. If I order another Leo James and it comes in with horrible fretwork and bad tuners and stuff, it'll be it. I'll be done with it. Everyone knows I've reviewed 2 Monsoons. Both the Monsoons had problems, but there was something about them. They felt nice in my hands, and I enjoyed playing them. It was just the overall quality of the guitar was just so poor. And the one, I felt when I was tuning it, I literally thought the tuning pegs were going to snap off. It felt like it didn't want to turn. That it was just horrible tuners on the guitar. The pickups flopped around, but it sounded good and it felt good in my hands. And I'm sitting there looking at this thing going, why does this guitar sound good? And why do I like playing it when the fit and finish and there's so many messed up things about it? And I still scratch my head over it. Both the Monsoons I liked playing. And the purple one I didn't want to sell. But things got tight here, and we were just like, okay, I'm not going to fix it up, we'll just sell it. So we were thinking about it. Linnell and I were looking at it. They've got a new model out that's like $225. Thought about ordering one and giving them giving that guitar company one more shot. Probably should order another Firefly soon. But if not, we've ordered so many of those in the past, especially Firefly. I haven't seen Firefly really come out with anything new in the last really year and a half. So maybe just order one just to see how their quality control is going and if it's still a decent bang for the buck. Things change. So might order one of those. But there's other guitar brands that I want to review. 2026, I really want to get into doing a better review. It's not that we've been missing things. I just want to get better at doing reviews. There's a big open market on YouTube for honest reviews. So I really want to concentrate on that. I want to concentrate on the live stream content, and I want to concentrate on the how-to videos. And if you haven't already, please go back and watch our Ibanez videos. Right now we're on video 4 on taking an Ibanez Jim Jr. and just making it a top-notch guitar in its stock form. We're not putting any performance parts on it. We're not changing the tuners. We're not changing the bridge. We're not changing the pickups. We are just making that guitar as good as we can possibly make it in its stock form. And that means reshaping the back of the neck, redoing all the frets, redoing the fret ends, dressing up the fretboard, doing everything we can possibly do to that guitar to make it play as well as it can possibly play. So please go to the main channel, and it's under Guitar Mods. Just watch some of the Ibanez content. There's probably going to be 7 videos total. So it takes a tremendous amount of time to do those type videos. Just want to let everybody know it's there for the content.
Goody Guitar says, has the power transformer in that Egnator blown yet? It looks like it might be a Rebel 40.
Yes, the Egnator debacles. This was the Goodyear Egnators. Egnator made awesome amps. When they tried to cut corners, they did put some bad power supplies in their amps. This particular Renegade amplifier was produced before the problem childs, if that makes sense. My amp tech told me which years to buy and which years to steer away from. So when this one come up for sale, I immediately sent the listing to him. We got the model number of the amplifier, verified the year, and he was like, that's a good one, go buy it. And I have had no problems with the Egnator. It's a phenomenal amp. It's a Renegade, great amp. What I'm looking for now is the extension cabinet for it that has the matching gray and black. I have nothing against Egnator. I think if you can find an Egnator, okay, and you know a good amp tech, there are excellent transformers that you can put in these Egnators. It's a great amp. It really has a nice clean tone. It has a nice crunch tone, and you can get some 80s sounds out of it too. It's a very versatile amplifier. It's surprisingly versatile. But no, this is a good one, and I do know the Egnators did have power supply problems. Just pay attention to what years cause problems. I know there's Egnator forums that you can get on. There are certain years and certain models they had more problems with. And they did have some problems with the Renegade in later years. I don't remember what year this particular Egnator is, to be honest with you. But my amp guy said, that's a good one. They didn't have any problems with them. Go buy it. I got this one for, I think, a steal. I paid $350 for that amplifier. The reason, they did get the reputation of bad power supplies. But there are certain years that they're just bulletproof amps. And this is one of the bulletproof ones. Oh, thank you so much, Trucker Bob. And if you don't know, there's no commercials. You don't have to be a subscriber to chat. Of course, I want you to become a subscriber. If you look right there, we are on our way to 2,500. I'm really trying to hit 2,450 before the end of the evening tonight. So please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the thumbs up button. And if you didn't, we just did a Gretsch review of this Gretsch guitar right here. Just finished it up, but we always do a hangout. So go back, if you're not familiar with the channel, and watch our Gretsch review. We actually had some of the guys from the release team that came in during the chat, which I thought was super cool. They said it was a great review. So anyone that's affiliated with Gretsch and has worked with Gretsch that can come and say that we did a good job, kudos. That's what the channel's trying to do. We're trying to do great reviews. Future giveaway support. Yeah, it's a super chat. I put Linnell just come in and told me we got a super chat. I hit the little buttons, honey. She does not have a microphone tonight, guys. That's why I'm hitting the cough button. We have been under the weather. Whatever this is that's been going around, it's pretty bad stuff. I'm pretty good at getting over things, and it's really hanging in there. I'm feeling much better, though, today than I have been all week. And thank the Lord it happened on a paid week off. If not, I would have been taking my vacation time or sick leave. So I have been really doing a lot of resting. I have been producing a lot of videos. That's why I would say, please go back and watch the Ibanez content. It takes a lot of time to do that. I'm doing 3 cameras on one screen. I'm doing fades. I'm doing close-ups. I'm really trying to do the best video possible with the equipment that I have. And if you're into working on guitars, I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing. I'm slow and sometimes then I speed it up through sections once I show you what I'm doing. I'm not hiding anything. You know, we're all competent people. We're musicians. A musician just has a natural knack for fixing things. They do. Musicians are tinkerers. They are. They have good ears, good hand-eye coordination. You're a musician. So if you can play guitar, you can service and you can work on your guitar. You really can. Don't be scared to do it. You know, just grab a guitar. You know, a lot of people buy budget guitars to start their journey down the path of working on their own instrument. I get it. Get on Amazon and buy an $80 Grote and learn how to do fret ends. And if you mess it up, it's no big deal. It's $80. You're going to spend more on that on a class. And all my videos are for free. So look at it this way. You're going to pay. You might spend $160 on 2 guitars. I guarantee you, after the second guitar, you'll have it. You just need some basic tools. That's what the channel's here for. It's just information, whether it's doing reviews or how to polish your frets, how to do fret dressing, how to cut the bone nut on your guitar, how to adjust the string tree. All that information is on this channel, so you can go back and watch it. But in 2026, that's what we want to concentrate on. I want to concentrate on guitar reviews, the live streams, okay, and the basic videos. We may do some changes. It's really hard to do 2 live streams a week and a video. It really is, guys. It's hard. So on weeks that we don't have a guitar to review, I might just release a video. So Saturday night might be the live night. and maybe every other Thursday a live review. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I really do like doing 2 live shows and a recorded video. So as long as I can keep that up, I'm going to try. But it's a lot of work. I don't do it. I don't do this full time for a living. So I'm watching the thing go by. Oh, we did get Birdman. We were just saying, where's Birdman? Birdman lost, didn't come in on the last stream, and we were kind of like, okay, we're going to have to call Homeland Security and hunt out Birdman because he's missing in action. So it's good to see that he finally did get there, get to the stream. So I'm going to call out some people. I see we got Searching for Tone. We got the real Queen Linnell, Birdman. Steve is in the chat. We got Mikey, Devastator, Trucker Bob, Time Surfing Alien. And if you don't know, Time Surfing Alien was our last guitar giveaway guy. You should be getting your guitar tomorrow. And I think you said something, Linnell, that it's like 15 minutes away from your house, but the delivery people didn't work on New Year's. So you're just like, wow, the guitar is like 15 minutes away and I can't get it. That's got to suck. Well, it'll be there tomorrow, man. And we packed that thing up really well. So it should be safe. We did put it in a Martin guitar box, so it's extra big with it's in between 2 air foam support pieces. It's packed really well, so I'm quite confident that you're going to receive the guitar in good condition. So I hope you really enjoy it. Like I said, you got a gig bag, the guitar, and the tremolo all in it. So, man, have fun with it. That's what it's about.
Kurt said I'm not here.
Huh?
Kurt, he said I'm not here.
Kurt said he's not there? Must be the Kurt ghost typing. Enjoy it. Thank the people that you see to the right. The super chats make it happen. When I see you come into the chat, TSA, and you contribute and you talk with the other guys, you don't even have to directly talk to me. If you got friends here like Blue Mox, Devastator, Kurt, Vox, Birdman, all these people, they're good people. Just come in, talk guitars. This is our hangout. That's what it's about, you know. I'm just here kind of yakking and talking, and this is a platform, I guess, to facilitate the bar guitar talk, you know. But when you get the guitar, just really, it's about enjoyment. Remember on the other stream, I was feeling ill. I picked up the guitar and I just started playing. I felt so much better after playing. Music is something that really makes us feel better. It's supposed to bring you up, you know. If you feel sad, put that emotion in your music. It's a great guitar, man. You're going to love it. It's a great playing instrument. So when you pick it up, think about everybody in the chat that contributed to that guitar. They're the guys that made it happen for you. And Searching for Tone, your guitar. It should be there tomorrow as well. I'm really curious to see you unbox that guitar. And I know it's been, 2.5, 3 months since you sent it. So you probably don't remember too much about how the guitar felt. I'm sure you do remember. But hopefully when you take this guitar out of the box and you grab it and you feel the neck, you are going to instantly know the amount of time and effort and love that was put in to this Jim Jr. And hopefully when you play it, you're going to go, wow, I can feel the difference in this instrument. Even though we didn't put a fancy bridge in it, we didn't put fancy pickups in it, it's all stock. But the guitar is going to play phenomenally. It really will. It's going to feel phenomenal. That's what we try to do here. We want to make guitars, give you the ability to take your guitar and make it a top level instrument. Not everyone can afford a $1,600 guitar. You can take a lesser expensive guitar and you can do some fret work to it And do it just like that Jim. We didn't put better pickups in it. We didn't change the bridge in it. But that guitar plays amazing. You can make your guitar play amazing. And you only need some basic sandpaper and some basic tools. It makes such a difference. And then if you want to, take it to the next level. Put some better pickups in it. Put a better bridge in it. You're still going to have far less in that Jim Jr. with a really high, nice Godo bridge and changing the pickups than you would buying a Jim. Not a Pia, a Jim. A Jim now is $2,000. It's $2,000 for a Jim. So that guitar is $550 mat price. A Godo bridge is $120. I like the Quantum pickups. I wouldn't change the Quantum pickups. So I'd leave the Quantums in it, maybe put better pots in it, and a Pure Tone Jack. $200. I'd take $200, put in that guitar, and I would rock it all day long. The guitar Searching for Tone is getting, whoever gets it, you put a Godo in that thing, and you've got a guitar for a lifetime. That'll be a phenomenal guitar. It's phenomenal now, but put a Godo, or what I'm going to do, right there is a German-made smoke chrome Floyd Rose. Okay? That bridge is going in Linnell's Jim. It's the exact same color as the stock bridge. This is Linnell's Jim. So we're going to take that tremolo, we're putting it in this guitar. And I'm going to do the work to this one like we did to Searching for Tones. And it's going to be a phenomenal guitar. I'm going to change the two pots, put some nice, either Alpha pots or Barnes. I mean, they're both great pots. I'll probably do Alpha pots on it, just because it's, you know, a Japanese type guitar. So I'll put Alpha pots on it, put a nice, I'll probably put an oil cap capacitor in it. You know, instead of an orange drop, something a little different. Put that bridge on it. It's going to be a great, phenomenal guitar. So that's the plans with that one. That's what it's about, guys. Sometimes it's not always about, you know, going out and just pulling one off the shelf. I get it. I like puttering on guitars too. You got to start with something. If you start with something decent, you're going to be better off. Yeah, you really will. You're not going to have to put as much work into it to get it to that next level. Can you take a horrible product and make it better? Sure you can. But it's always better to find a decent product, something that doesn't have proprietary pickups. Firefly is bad for that. Some of the budget guitars, you go to put different pickups in it, they don't fit right because it's some proprietary route. Pick a guitar that doesn't have these issues, that you can get different pickups for, you know, that's easy to modify, has decent fretwork, and run with it. You know, I have guitars here that I've had for 30 plus years, like this guitar here. A good guitar is a good guitar. It doesn't matter if it's a Peavey. This is a Peavey Vandenberg. This guitar is over 30 years old. It's a solid instrument. A solid instrument will last. It will. It doesn't matter if you paid $400 for it, or back at the time this guitar was like $1,200, $1,300. It's a solid instrument. It's all stock. You buy a Gretsch, as long as the bass instrument is solid, it's going to last. It really will. Take care of your stuff. Like I've always had a case for this guitar. This guitar played out live with me for years. Good investment up front. Find something that has a good solid bass if that's what you're into, and then start your mod project after that, you know. And then when you go to sell it, put all the stock parts back in it and sell it. You don't gain anything by leaving your fancy pickups and your fancy tuners on it. Keep all your stock parts in a baggie, in the case or the gig bag. When you go to get rid of it, let's say you're just done with it. Maybe you've moved on. Now you want to go from a Super Strat to a Telecaster. Now you're into tellies. That's fine. Keep all your high performance parts, put it back in that guitar, sell your Super Strat, and go out and buy yourself a nice Telecaster. In 5 or 6 years, you might go back to a Super Strat. You've got all the hot rodded parts, maybe Seymour Duncans or Black Winters or EMGs or DiMarzios, whatever it was that you really liked. You could slap them in your next project. There you go. You're not going to gain anything by letting your high dollar components go when you go to sell the guitar. You're not. I've always wanted to change the pickups in this guitar, and I haven't because the value of the original Vandenbergs have just went through the roof. Could I do it? I could. But the real guitar aficionados, they don't want the factory solder joints being disturbed. They want to open it up and see that it has the factory pots, the factory everything in it, that it hasn't been altered in any way, shape, or form. And this guitar hasn't. Do I plan on selling it? I don't. So I have really seriously thought about buying a new set of pickups for this guitar and going through it. It's got a bad jack. It needs the jack replaced. Well, just needs the wiring fixed. And going through the guitar and giving it a new lease on life. I really do love this guitar. Two-piece neck. All these guitars with two-piece necks. So it's very stable, you know, from winter to summer. The neck on the guitar doesn't move that much. All these things play a big role in the guitars that we play. Just keep it in mind as you're looking. I think Annoying Critic said earlier, just go in. You know, if you're like me, there are certain guitars that I just won't sell. I have this Peavey, a Peavey Active Nitro, and a Kramer, an 86 Kramer Pacer Imperial that will never leave the house. They're just something about these guitars that I love the way they feel, I love the way they sound, and they make me play a certain way. These are the guitars that I bond with. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't like other guitars. I was playing my Schecter Mach 6 yesterday. That's a stupid good guitar. When I say stupid good, that's a stupid good guitar. It frets and plays so easy. It's a stupid good guitar. It plays better than this Vandenberg. But there's something about this Vandenberg. There's something about the grit and the feel that this Vandenberg has that the Schecter just doesn't quite have. Even though I can play faster and I'm more at ease on the Schecter, there's something about the attack and the feel that the neck on this guitar has. I wish I could tell you what it was. That's why I tell people, go to the store. If it fits you and you like it, that's the guitar for you. It doesn't matter what Joe Smo on the internet says. It doesn't matter what I say. If you bond with it and it's a quality instrument, if it's quality, it's going to last you. If you bond with it, that's your guitar. It is. What we try to do here is we try to weed out the guitars that have just bad overall production. Guitars that's going to cause problems. Guitars that have bad tuners that eventually you have to put tuners on. Or bad soldering from the factory that 2 or 3 years down the road the jack's going to get and the volume pots are going to get a bunch of noise in them and the switches are cheap. You know, bad fretwork. You know, that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to find good guitars. And there's always different levels. At $300, are you going to get a two-piece neck? No. You're probably going to get a scarf joint neck or a solid piece of maple or mahogany. You're not going to get a two-piece neck at $300. You're just not. It's just one of those things. When you get into the maybe $500 or $600 range, you might find a manufacturer that has a two-piece neck. You know, most of the time nowadays, most manufacturers do three-piece. The two-piece isn't very popular. You could see where I played. I sweated a lot on stage, so it kind of turned the neck black. That's salt from sweating. The guitar is not perfect, but it's what I like. So that's more about what it's about. And I see Steve is talking about the replacement on the T's. Let me put this guitar up. The only thing I really have to say about T's is they're a small company. He's ordering stuff from China. I hope, and I really do hope success for I guess his name is Torsion. Yeah, she does that. I wish him the best of luck. If he wants to send this channel a guitar, we're up to reviewing any new product that he wants to send us. My advice to that company is pay attention to your vendors, and if you can, stick with the vendor. If you're switching vendors, you're never gonna really get a hold of what you're gonna be receiving. If you're with a certain vendor for X amount of years and you get a bad shipment in, you should have built up a relationship with them. You can call them up and say, look guys, I'm gonna fix this order, but you guys, this last order isn't up to my standards. If you can't fix it, I'm going to shop for another vendor. And at that point, you need to reach out to a couple other vendors and have some prototypes sent to you. It doesn't mean you're going to abandon your other vendor. Do your next order. If the next order comes in and it's lesser quality or they haven't fixed it, you've already got a couple prototypes there. You can pick up the phone and say, okay, I'm giving you guys a shot. You really don't want to do that because you're changing manufacturers. You've got to build a relationship. That's why Cort and Sazmac, or however you pronounce that company, that's how come they've gotten so big. They have built a relationship with Ibanez, Fender, Gretsch. You know, there's main companies, and then they own all the other companies, like Fender owns Charvel, they own, Gibson owns Kramer. So when Kramer shops, is it really Kramer or is it Gibson? You see what I mean? So when they're shopping for that vendor's looking at it going, okay, well, we're also making this guitar, and this guitar for the main company. So they have a relationship there. He needs to keep that relationship going and pay attention to what people are saying. And I'm not saying you need to pay attention to people who know things, if that makes sense. And sometimes that means thinking outside the box. But he's at a budget price point. Certain things need to be acceptable. But I wish him the best of luck. And again, if he wants to send us something in the future, I'm up to reviewing it. But keep in mind, I'm reviewing whatever comes in the box. So if you send me a guitar with a bunch of frets that are out, I'm going to point it out. You send me a guitar that has pickups in it, I'm going to point it out. I do keep in mind price point. I do. So that's enough with the T's stuff. I don't see anything special about T's. They seem to be, I mean, I've reviewed one of their guitars. So the one guitar that I've reviewed, I would say I've reviewed 2 West Creek. West Creek is better. Leo James. I think the Leo James felt better in my hands, but the overall quality, the same. And you guys kind of know what I feel about Leo James. I think their quality is bad. So I'm going to give it to Leo James. Better than T's, simply because I bonded with the Leo James. I thought it sounded better. It made me want to play it. But the overall fit and finish on the Leo James was horrible. Groat, the Groats that I've reviewed, Groat had better fit and finish, but I would say pickups and the feel of the guitar are very similar. The Groats have a cheaper feel to them. They don't, when you pick up a Groat, like I reviewed a bunch of the $130, $150 Groats, they just didn't feel like it's a $150 guitar. It played above its asking price, but the pickups were really weak in it. I would say the Tees is in that ballpark. It seemed to play halfway decent. I think if I did the setup on the guitar, I think I could make the guitar play far better. But you're only going to do so much because there were so many frets that were out. So, unless I get another one, right now Tees is going to be towards the bottom of the list as far as what you get for your dollar. What am I going to order another one? I don't know. There's other guitars out there that I want to review. If they throw something out that really interests me, sure. The guitar that I received wasn't so bad that I'm like, I'll give them another shot. Just as I gave Leo James another shot, but I'm not going to go out of my way to order one just to see if I got a bad one, if that makes sense. Maybe I did get a bad one. I don't know. From what I hear, it's very hit and miss. And it shouldn't be that way. If he's opening the box and he's actually inspecting these guitars, it shouldn't be hit and miss. It shouldn't be. They should be about the same. That's why you're opening the box and you're inspecting them. I should have never received that guitar. If you're checking the guitar, it should have not left. That's kind of my thought on it. Groat isn't saying they're opening up every box. They're saying, look, it's a fast guitar. It's made fast. It's made cheap. We're throwing it in the box. We're sending it to you. They're not saying, hey, we're going to take it out of the box, make sure everything's good, and then we're going to send it to you. Groat's not saying that. Groat's saying, give us $85 for this one. Give us $150 for this one. It's a fast-built guitar. There it is. But the Groat had better fretwork. I can buy the $150 Groat and put some Wilkinson pickups in it for $50 and have a decent guitar. Because the Groat, both the Groats that I think we did 4 Groats, all of them had decent tuners. So I could stick pickups in those guitars and have a decent guitar. The new Groat is like 119. So you put some decent Wilkinson pickups in it. There's guitar heads, $50 or $55 for 2 humbuckers. Stick those in it. You're still way under $200. I'm going to still fall towards that category. There's just so many options out there, guys. KGD, when they first come out, their price was a lot cheaper, and I hear hit and miss on them guys too. I have not reviewed one. Some people say they're great. Some people say they're junk. Some people say the pickups aren't good. Some people, I don't know. It could be a lot like the T scenario. Maybe you get a good one. Maybe you get a bad one. Maybe you get one that the pickups are so-so on. And I've also heard other people say the Strat model, the pickups were good in. I don't know. I think it's $229 for their Strat model. About $199 for the Telecaster model. It's in line with Firefly. Is it as good as a Firefly? I don't know. So that's definitely a guitar that we're going to have on the channel this year is KGD. It is an Amazon product, so we are going to order one of those. I'd like to see what you're getting. There's another brand, that ALKOT, ACLOC, or whatever it is. When I watch another channel and they make excuses on why a switch doesn't even work, they put a push-pull on it and they didn't even wire it. that was on their first production run. Now the next production run, there's another problem with the electronics, and they're saying that this or that. That makes me scratch my head. So it might take a couple more production runs for that company to. I don't think I want to waste my dollar right now. I see too many channels saying there's little tiny issues with the guitars. They're inexpensive though. 2026 is going to be interesting. We want to broaden our range a little bit. And if you guys have any suggestions, you guys are hunting the internet every day. If you see a guitar that you're interested in, please go to the Discord server and put in, hey, what do you think about this product? Could we do a review on it? And I write down what you guys say. And if enough people ask for that product, I will get one and we will do a review on it. That's just how it works. You guys have to tell me what you want to see. And we'll get the product in. That's not a problem. That's what it's about. It's about me servicing you guys. So if we want to see more T's, fine. I'll order more T's guitars. If that's what you want to see. If you want to see Steve Brown sound, we've never had one of their guitars on the channel. Say, hey, I'm interested in Steve Brown sound. SBS. They look like a great guitar for the price point. Don't know. Haven't had one. If you guys are interested in it, we can definitely order one. It could even actually turn out to be maybe even one of the guitar giveaways. Remember, we do that every other month. So if it's a guitar giveaway and you guys say, this is the guitar we want to give away this month, super chats go towards it. You guys make the decision, and then we order it. That's how it works. I think you should do a self-buy of a tease just like Glenn Ficker does. Yeah, that would be the only way we could do it. I mean, he's got my address now. So I thought about maybe letting Linnell do it, and we get like a post office box. There's like mailboxes, etc. here in town. So you can mail it to them. They just receive it, and then you go in and pick it up. We could do something like that. What I saw with T's, and this is just based on one, if you pay someone to set up a guitar, the guitar should be set up. I just think the setup on the guitar was very generic. Everyone sets up guitars differently. Everyone has a different preference. But as far as me and how I set guitars up, that's not how I set a guitar up. The setup was very, very bland. Stock setups from, I don't know. The setup was just not for me. Yeah, if that makes sense. It just didn't seem like someone set that guitar up that plays guitar. It was a very generic setup. And if you're paying for a pro setup, it should be a pro setup. And I didn't feel that. It felt like a guitar that come out of a box that was mass produced, and the setup was what it was. That's how it felt, if that makes sense. If I was buying a T's, I might do the bass guitar, upgrade the tuners. I would definitely not pay for the setup. And just, I'm sure most of you that's here watching this could set up that guitar better than the one that I received.
Birdman said, can you pull your mic in a little bit?
I'm watching my reading, and it does say that I'm chopping the cutoff.
Devastator said we want to see a Music Man and a Kiesel.
A Music Man and a Kiesel. Oh, wow. You guys are killing me on the price points. The bad part of it is, on expensive guitars, I have to really reach out to Shenandoah Music. They're not a Kiesel dealer, of course, and they're not a Music Man dealer. So that kind of shoots both of those brands out, simply due to price point, if that makes sense. That's why we got the Jackson on the show. Very expensive guitar, but they allowed me to do the review on it. But I will try. If you are listening, Kiesel, well, more than welcome to review one of your guitars. I will pay the shipping if you just send us. It can be one of your stock guitars. It doesn't have to be a custom order, just something that you got there. Send it to us. I'll pay the shipping. Would love to review one of your guitars. Anyone that does Music Man, reach out to us. Would love to review Music Man or Sterling, either one.
Are those mics omnidirectional?
Yeah, this mic only does this direction. That's the way the microphone works. So if I come in from this direction, it's basically doing this on the pattern. This particular mic is on a mic strip, so it does pretty good. It's a pretty good microphone. I don't have the compression turned up, so I can crank up the compression and then push the gain, and I can push it back and it'll equalize. It just sounds a little funny when I put that much compression on it, so I try to keep it more natural sounding, if that makes sense. So, but the meter's telling me I'm clipping right here. I know it sounds more gainy, more pushy, but if I push it back, if I go about right there, let me see if we can gain that up just a little bit. Check. Check. Okay. Now see, if I gain it up a little bit, I can get that result right there. That's probably a better setting. Let me go back one. Check. One setting. One. Yeah, if I actually took the time and did some fine tuning, I can already hear in the headphones that's a much better setting. The channel strip makes all the difference in the world. I do generic setups, guys, because I'll pull this microphone out when we're doing live reviews, and I try to set it up to where the mic can be a little further away from me. It's just me and Linnell here, so we have to do all the editing, all the shipping, all the receiving. It's a lot, guys. We do the best we can, but if you guys, like you just pointed out, yeah, I can hear that sounds a lot better. So thank you very much for bringing it up.
Blue Box comment.
Have you ever an Aerodyne Fender? It doesn't. I'm going to say no because I don't know what an Aerodyne Fender is. I've owned two, and this was in the past, Fender, well, back then they were called American Standards. They were USA made. This would have been 15 years ago. I tried high-end Fender Strats twice. And both those guitars I kept for about 6 months and sold them. And it had nothing to do with the guitar not being great. They were great playing guitars. They're Strats. There's a reason why the Strat is the most copied guitar. They're freaking awesome guitars. I just hit the volume knob. So the first one I bought was like a really baby blue. It was a beautiful guitar. It would have been, I'm going to guess, probably 95 when I bought that guitar. I want to say it was, I don't know, 1,500, something like that, when I bought that one. I kept it for 6 months and sold it. And then I had a resurgence in the mid-2000s where I started playing guitar again. And I went into Shenandoah Music and I bought a Candy Apple Red one. Beautiful guitar. I didn't keep that one long at all, maybe 4 months, and sold it. Exact same reason, hitting the volume knob. And then I'm going to say 8 years ago, I bought a vintage Vibe. I started playing for about 2 or 3 months and bought a really nice vintage Vibe. And believe it or not, you guys are going to laugh. I found a Kahler 2700 Killer. And I rerouted the guitar for a Kahler 2700 Killer. And I put the Pink Floyd David Gilmour EMGs in it. If the person that bought that guitar is listening, I want it back. That was a stupid playing guitar. And I want it back because one, it had the EMG David Gilmour's, and it had my favorite bridge in it. It took a lot of work to modify that guitar to put a Kaler killer in it. There's only one in existence, and it's the one that I did. So if you're watching and you've got a sunburst vintage vibe Squire with EMG David Gilmour's with a 2700 killer bridge, please reach out to me. I will pay good money to have that guitar returned back home. I like Fender products. I just don't ever, I can't get along with the volume knob in them, if that makes sense. Aerodyne, I don't know that one. I know I can get Fender, so if that's a guitar that you guys want to see, and it's all about how many people request it. I can get Fender products here for a review. Shenandoah Music is a Fender dealer, so I'm sure they would have absolutely no problem whatsoever allowing me to bring a Fender guitar home. Well, they already have a Fender Standard. They let me bring a Fender Standard home.
What do you think about the Keeley Dark Side?
Where do you see that at?
The bottom one there, that one.
I'm not familiar with that. The Keeley Dark Side. I'm not familiar with that brand. We're all about honesty here, guys. If I don't know anything about it, I'm just going to tell you I don't know anything about it. I'm not familiar with that whatsoever. If you want to go to the Discord and post some links in the Discord about the product, I will reach out to the company and see if they make guitars, whatever they do, and see if it's something that we might be able to get on the channel. But I'm not familiar with the brand, if that makes sense. Yeah, Wicked Fester. I did look at that, finding a different pickguard. And what I wanted to do was a stacked tone, where you have two knobs stacked on top of one another, where you still have control of both tones, like a factory wiring, with the volume shifted back. If you have a two-hole pickguard for a Fender Strat that works with the Fender and stuff, please go to Discord and give me a link to that. I was going to call Dylan Talks Tone, because I know he does some, and have him custom make me one with two holes. But if there's another vendor, please go to Discord and put that in for me. That would be great. Yeah, Mad Hatter, you're right. It comes down to it's tradition. You're going to make someone happy, and then you're going to make someone else pissed off because it's a classic design. Well, what they need to do is Fender has a modern line where it's more modernized. They should do what I just said. Move the volume and do a double stack on the volume, or just do one tone or a double stack tone and move the tone back. I think on that guitar they should get rid of the top load jack and put an end load jack on the guitar. Especially on their modern ones with the Floyd Rose tremolo. Because when you have that jack coming in on an angle, when the tremolo goes back, it hangs up on the cord. So on the modern line, Fender needs to move that jack to the edge of the guitar. Okay? Now whether or not they do it like Ibanez, where it comes in on an angle so it can go behind the strap, that would be cool. But definitely, on the model with the Floyd Rose, move the tone down, do a single tone or a stacked tone, and relocate the jack. You're not going to upset the purists that like Fender, because you're still going to have your American standards and your traditional stuff. But on the modern line, give us more modern specs. Maybe give us a 12 to 16 inch compound fingerboard with a nice Floyd Rose tremolo. Change the pot locations and do humbucker single. If they did that, and Fender could do it out of Mexico and keep that guitar, and you guys are going to laugh, it's Fender. If they could keep it anywhere between $1,700 and $2,000, I think they'd sell the snot out of them. I really do. I think that Fender would just, they would fly off the shelf. Humbucker single, Floyd Rose, jack in the side, one volume, whether it's a single tone or double stack tone. I think at that price point, made in Mexico Fenders, everyone knows they're pretty good guitars. Some people like them better than the Americans. If they could keep it under the $2,000, from let's say 1,600 to $2,000, I think that would be their spot. Everything's going up, guys. I know it's a tremendous amount of money, but it's Fender. I think if they could do that, that guitar would sell. Would it upset some Fender people? I'm sure it would. You know, it's like a Harley Davidson. As soon as Harley does something new, it pisses off the older guys. But yet the younger generation can't bond with it because they haven't changed anything in years. I think Fender and Gibson both have got this issue. You know, it's not retro because they never stepped outside of the box for it to be retro. Does that kind of make sense? Gretsch, it's more retro. Fender and Gibson really don't have the retro thing, if that makes sense. They've been building a lot of the exact same thing. Fender does step outside the box. You've got the Malmsteen Strat. It's completely scalloped. That's a cool guitar. The one that everyone's upset about now, the Fun for Homeless People, whatever, that's a cool guitar. It's got a banana headstock. Doesn't even say Fender on it. Kudos for Fender. You know, you built a guitar and you didn't even stick your name on the headstock. That takes balls, guys. That does. You're going to build a product and you don't even put your name on it. It might be on the back plate, but no one sees it back there. You have to know what that is to know it's a Fender. I kind of give kudos to Fender for that. It's not, you can't look at that guitar and go, oh, that's a Fender. It could be anybody making a Super Strat because at that point, it doesn't have the Fender headstock on it, so Fender couldn't sue them. I mean, Charvel could have made that. You know, Ibanez can make it, anybody can make it. Kramer, kind of looks like a Kramer banana headstock. So Kramer could have put that guitar out. Fender couldn't do anything. So I give Fender credit for that guitar. Even though everyone was all getting their feathers in a rustle about it, I kind of get it. It's kind of cool, and they didn't stick their name on it. Something different. I like it. But we run into this, you know. What do you expect Fender to do? Fender isn't quite as bad as Gibson. Gibson in the early 90s tried to come out with Super Strats. They were just late to the game. At that point, the Seattle sound was already coming in. Here comes Gibson with the late 80s hair metal guitars, trying to build a Super Strat. They were a day late and a dollar short to the party. It flopped. People go, oh, no one liked it. It was a Gibson. No, you built the guitar 8 years late. If you would have built that guitar 8 years earlier, you would have sold some product. But you didn't. You brought the 80s hair guitar out during the grunge phase. That wasn't what was popular. People were listening to garage band stuff, the unplugged, unfiltered, unprocessed, you know, let's just grab a guitar and plug it into an amp at full volume and just beat the piss out of it. That was the sound that was popular.
Have you ever tried some of the EVH guitars?
The only EVH guitars that I've played are ones at the store. It's a Fender product. I'm sure they play nice. I've played a couple of the Wolfgang. It's like the PV HP2 or the Music Man. I will say this. The EVH is nowhere near as good as the original PV ones. Just my thought. I've played both. If you can get your hands on an HP2 PV, you want to do it. But they sell for stupid money now because the guitars are stupid good. It's also a third of the price, the EVH. You can go in, you can get one of those models, I think starting at like $700, and they go up to like $1,800. even the most expensive one is still cheaper than a 20-year-old Peavey. The Peavey's a better instrument. It really is. It feels better, plays better. The last 2 years of the Peavey production, but the first 3-4 years, oh my gosh, those were stupid good instruments. The Music Man ones were also really good. Nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with the Fender one, the EVH one. I'm just saying, if you want to look at which one's best, I think Peavey made the best version. Just my opinion. I think there was a lot of to do on getting someone and coming off of a signature model and starting his own brand. Of course, everyone knows how I feel. Peavey pissed off a lot of people. You know, when you tell your employees that you're going to do everything you can to keep the factory open, and then you turn around in the middle of the work week, after your employees go home, you lock all the doors and you put signs on it, say go home, you're fired. That's going to take a long time for Peavey to get over it. I know Heartland Peavey didn't have much to do with it. Control went to 2 other people. Not going to argue that, but it leaves a bad taste on people like me that were die-hard Peavey fans. Can they bring it back? If they start manufacturing in the USA again and go back to their roots, are we going to pay more money for it? Of course we are. If it's made in the United States, it's going to be expensive. Maybe they should do 2 product lines. Have their USA made stuff and have their import stuff. And try to keep to a model, if that makes sense. Don't lie to the public. Don't lie to your employees. And I think Peavey can overcome what they did. It makes it bad because they went on Undercover Boss and said they were going to do all these things, and everything they said they were going to do, they lied. And all those families that they hurt down there, it's hard for me, even as a Peavey fanboy, to get it. It's going to be hard for Peavey to come back, if that makes sense. But if you're wanting one of those type guitars, try to find an HP2 that was made in the United States. It's a great guitar. The Peavey Vandenberg is a great guitar. They made from 85 to about 98 best guitars they ever made. I'm going to say from 85 to 95 were the best guitars they ever made. Yeah, exactly. When Peavey was in the USA, they were great. I have 5 I have 4 1980, late 80 Peaveys, mid 80s to late 80s, and 1 1990 Peavey Vandenberg. Stupid quality is what they were. Their amps were bulletproof, and they were reasonably priced. Even though I paid almost $1,300 for my Vandenberg, Charvel and Jackson, USA made at the time, was $2,500 to $3,000. So it was half the price of a Charvel, a Jackson, and Kramer was pretty much already done at that point. In the late 90s, I don't know when Kramer fell, but Kramer was already out of the picture by then. You got to stop and think what the dollar was then. Look at what you're buying now versus what it was then. You can buy a lot more guitar now than you could then. It's not made here though. So I want to qualify all that. You know, all my rack mount equipment, other than like 1 or 2 small pieces here or there, most of my equipment is USA made stuff. And I'm getting into newer stuff, and it's going to be overseas equipment. My new Behringer wind rack that I want to order, it's an overseas product. It's how it is, guys. But most of my equipment is USA made. I'm going to say 75% of my stuff is made in America. I always tried to buy American. Everyone knows I ran Hafler amplification out professional for as long as I could. I loved the Hafler amps. I loved being able to pick up the phone and saying, "Hey Dave, this amp is screwed up." I need it fixed. And Mr. Hafler would say, okay, send it to me. What's it doing? Put all that information, where you were at, if there was a power surge, whatever you can, stick it in the box, send it to me. You know, you could talk to the man on the phone. Loved that. You know, exact same with Applied Research Technology. It's a USA made product. You could call them on the phone. And the person on the phone spoke English. Same with Digitech. You call them on the phone. Person on the phone spoke English. It's not like that now. There's just, it's just not like that. We're in a completely different genre of equipment. And not saying that it's bad. I see the pluses. I do. I love my little Yamaha, well, not mine, Linnell's little Yamaha amp here. I think it's great. It's $250. I couldn't buy this little amplifier back then for that kind of money. And does what this little amplifier does. It's a great little amplifier. I get it. I'm not here to discourage anyone. There's a time and a place for everything. Tonight we did a review. I played through a modeling amp. Why? Convenience. It's just about convenience. Does my Egnator sound better and clean? I think it does in the room. Of course it does. I like the warmth of the tube and the spring reverb. It's just a cool amp. Does my rack amp here sound better on high gain? I think it does. But that's all personal taste. Some people like the sound of these modelers. They have a distinct signal path. There's a lot of things they do very, very well. I'm curious to see what happens in the next 5 to 10 years. Are we going to go into more of a hybrid type thing? You know, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, that is a Seymour Duncan twin tube, two tubes, Mayhem pedal. Are we going to get to the point where we have little boxes like that have these little micro tubes in it, and the tube warms it with like a digital backside, you know, like a modeling, and you've got a couple tubes in there to warm it, whether it's Tonex or whatever. All this stuff crammed into this little box with a cab sim on the output. You just go to PA. We technically already have it, but no one has introduced the hybrid yet. Axe-Fx hasn't, Quad Cortex hasn't, Tonex hasn't. What's the little modeler that does the captures? Whatever that, I forget what it is. It's either one or the other. I think the next step on some of these are going to be some type of hybrid system. And that's why I had this little silver unit right here. When I was playing live, I used a lot of digital effects, and the digital effects sounded very harsh. So I bought an inline tube preamp. And that inline tube preamp was designed to go on the output stage of an ADAT. Well, ADATs had this very artificial sound. They wasn't very warm. So every channel would go through a tube inline amplifier to warm up the signal, to make it sound more lively. So I took one of those ADAT inline tube amps and I put it in the signal path of my digital effects to warm it up. Then I found, since it was stereo, I could run two of them, and I could use one on one effects loop to boost my gain signal to add more color, and then also warm up my digital effects. That's why you'll see there's one there and there's another one in the rack. I used to run them both. Does it make a big difference? No, the guy that restored that one said he could see very little signal change between when it was on it. It was more about color. So when you start looking at these graphs and this, a lot of things will test the same, okay, and it'll graph out the same. But that doesn't mean that our ears hear it the same. Does that kind of make sense? Something, like we always test pickups, and I say write them down. But I always tell you, It's up to you. You know, I could do two pickups that test exactly the same and they're going to sound different. It just puts us in the ballpark. So when you O-scope something and it says, oh, it should do this, maybe, maybe not. You need to listen to it. I'm saying that what the spectrum analyzer tells you and what it actually does in the real world environment is two totally different things. It did help. So that's how I approached it, to get rid of that harsh sound. Nowadays, I'm a tube guy, but these new modelers are getting stupid good. They are. I have no issues at all playing the little modelers that I have. And these are inexpensive modelers. These newer modelers, they're stupid good. When someone comes up to me and they're saying, oh, I'm using Quad Cortex, the last thing I'm going to say, well, that's a piece of junk. I'm not going to say that because I know it's a quality piece of gear. A lot of people use it. A lot of people use the Axe-Fx. A lot of people are on the Helix platform or the Headrush platform. There's a reason why people buy them. They feel that it's a good bang for the buck. Or they can't afford a tube amp like this, and they go, I can get this for a quarter of the cost. And I'm not just stuck with the Marshall sound. I can get a Mesa Boogie sound, I can get a Fender sound, I can get a Friedman sound. I'm not locked in. Is it exactly like it? No. But 90% of the people aren't going to tell the difference, so they go, it's close enough, it's great, it's compact, I can use this, and I can go out and play, and it's compact. I'm not going to kill myself carrying a 300-pound amplifier around. I get it. If you guys feel different, then put in there, but I'm getting old. Carrying this thing around is going to be a nightmare. I would much rather take my little Line 6 Stomp and go front of house and put some headphones on, or go out with a little powered PA speaker just for a control monitor so I can hear myself. I would much rather do that. ME80 through a Fender Deluxe Reverb. We're going to turn down a miler if you give it to me. Yeah, that's my point. I've got both, guys. There's a time and a place for both. Linnell will tell you, there's days, there's nothing sounds like this amplifier when I put it on a third. And when I say on a third, at a third, it's freaking loud on a third volume. I could probably blow the windows out of this house at 50% with that amplifier. But at a third, it punches, it moves air, and when you're playing it, you can feel it. There's just something about a tube amp right at that point. There's just something about it. And I haven't gotten, even if I take this modeler and I crank it with these 15-inch drivers with horns, it's moving air. It's just a little different, if that makes sense. It's just not quite the same. It's still awesome, but it's not as awesome as that. That's just my thoughts. That thing at a third volume will make your hair stand up. It will. And the way it breaks up and the way that's more what it is. It's the response that the preamplifier has with the signal going back into the pickups is different than my modeler with the PA speakers going into the pickups back into the modeler. They react just a little different. They're getting there. It wouldn't surprise me in 10 years that you couldn't tell the difference. And listening to them, I don't think you could tell the difference. Recorded. I don't think you could tell the difference. Playing it, maybe it's eye and hand thing. If you blindfolded me, could I tell the difference? I don't know. I think I can tell the difference. I think I like this one more. But I'm not going to sit there and say if someone blindfolded me that I would get it spot on, because if you've got nice 15-inch drivers with horns and it's loud and it's feeding back into the guitar, back into the modeler, it's hard. I still think this sounds better. I could be proven wrong in a blindfold test. It's that close, guys. It really is. All right, guys. We've been on for another hour and a half. We've been streaming for 3.5 hours tonight. If you haven't already, please go back and watch our review on the Gretsch. We just did that earlier tonight. Great guitar. Please go to Discord or leave comments in this video. Should we buy this guitar for March's guitar giveaway? I think it's a good guitar. I think it's a great guitar. I'm trying to be non-biased. I like the guitar. I think the fit and finish on the guitar is good, and at $319, I think it's a great giveaway guitar. Leave us a comment, see if you guys think we are giving away a Washburn this month. So whatever the last Saturday of the month is, that's when we're going to give the Washburn away, as long as I can get the fixes and the repairs done by then. But it's usually the last Saturday of the month we do the guitar giveaway. Next Thursday, or actually, we could probably do it Saturday. So on the stream on Saturday, I'll bring the Washburn out, and everyone can put in their vote what we should do to the Washburn for the guitar giveaway. So that'll be Saturday. Go back, watch the Ibanez stuff. I saw Searching for Tone was in here earlier. Put a lot of work in this series. There's probably 3 more videos to go. We're on video number 4. Please go back and watch them all. It not only helps me, but it helps Brian over at Searching for Tone too, because he did a video on when he first received it. He should be receiving the guitar back again tomorrow. So there's going to be even more content going. So when you go to Brian's channel and you're watching this content, you can watch what I did to the guitar, and you'll get a better understanding of how special that guitar is. So it is truly a special guitar. Again, I want to thank everyone that gave a super chat. That's what runs this channel, is your contributions to the channel. It allows us to buy instruments and do these highly detailed reviews and these hangouts. That's what it's about. All right, guys, don't forget, thumbs up button, and we're trying to get to 2,450 by 12 o'clock. Go down, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, help us out. And again, thanks so much for hanging out. We are going to do our 5-minute closing window. And we didn't even do a break. So if Vox is in here, Vox is probably very upset. Vox, we're going to take a break. It's the 5-minute closing break. Just for you. Just for you. Hey, Vox, I promise, next Saturday we'll take an intermission. Just for Vox. It'll be, I'm gonna do a special screen, Vox intermission time. All right, guys. Thanks so much.